might wait for the wind to stop because the wind is blowing. I look like Fabio in the wind. Yes. Oh, okay. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New Year's, everybody. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Oak and Ember podcast. If you're new here, I'm the host and founder, Garrett Hines. And man, it is a great freaking day. I think I say that a lot, and that's okay. It is a great day. Man, it's a great day. It's a Happy New Year. This is going to come out right before New Year's Eve, a couple of days before. And man, it's a great time of year. And I hope that you're able to make the most out of this time of year. But before we jump into that specific topic today, couple of quick reminders. You know, the best way to help this podcast grow, if you're finding it useful, if you're finding it beneficial, to help us grow what we're doing here, which is to help people live life to the fullest, leave a comment, subscribe to the channel on YouTube, leave a rating and review, download a bunch of episodes on iTunes, do all of those little things that help podcasts like this grow. You know, I've said it before, but I'm going to keep saying, if you've only got 30 minutes or less to make your life better, to help you find whatever it is you're looking for, to live life to the fullest, keep this podcast in mind every week. You know, right now we're doing weekly episodes. Someday I want to be doing more than that. I want to be doing interviews, all those things. And in order to do that, I need your help. I can't do this on my own. I need a community of people that are helping this podcast grow so that we can grow and get bigger and get better and help more people. Because at the end of the day, that's it. I want to help as many people as possible live life to the fullest. So with that said, let's jump into today's topic. Man, we are talking about how to make New Year's not revolutions, although sometimes I think that word might be relevant, but not really. But yes. See, I'm so jacked. I love this topic. Okay, I'm going to try to settle myself down here for a second. We're talking about how to make New Year's resolutions. Now, I openly confess that the title was chosen on purpose. Yes, possibly even a little clickbaitish. But it's a common thing that we see at this time of year, right? 2021 is coming to a close. Praise God. Like, we need 2021 to end. We need to step into 2022, but we need to be able to step into the new year rightly. We need to be able to step into the new year in a way that is going to help us actually live life to the fullest and not just be the repetition of the same old thing. And I understand for a lot of people that we step into the new year and we think, especially 2020, 2021, like I understand. We thought when 2020 ended, woohoo, 2021 is going to be better. And honestly, I think it was worse for a lot of reasons. Let's go, Brandon. I think for a lot of reasons, 2021 was harder. And now we're coming to the end of 2021, and I know it. I feel the temptation myself to say, 2022 has to be better. But honestly, 2022, this is getting hard to say. 2022 could get worse. I don't know how, but it could. Yeah, things like inflation and politics and civil divide, and I want things to get better. Hear my heart on that. I want our communities to grow and thrive and be healthy. But we can't rely on the changing of a year and the changing of an external circumstance to be what makes our year better. We have to be the drivers of what makes our lives more full. What fulfills the dreams we have in our hearts, what brings about the goals that we have in our minds. That comes about by the work we do, not by the simple changing of a year, not by the changing of a political system, not by the changing of laws or rules. What makes communities better is the improvement of the individual. Jordan Peterson talks about that all the time, and I fully, wholeheartedly believe that he's right. That in order for our communities to get better, we have to change the individual. So how do we do that? Do we even need to make New Year's resolutions? I mean, I've fallen into that trap before. I've made the New Year's resolution, and like everybody else, come about February, the second month of the year, come February, I'm already off the horse. And the horse is dead. I'm not getting back on the horse. There's no more horse to ride when it comes to New Year's resolutions. And so, yeah, I use that title, How to Make a New Year's Resolution. And honestly, it's because I'm hoping to get this message out to more and more people. And I know that titles matter. But I honestly believe that making New Year's resolutions is a pointless endeavor. It's a pointless endeavor because what we do is we set some arbitrary goal. We set ourselves up to fail so that we can perpetuate what we believe to be true about ourselves, is that we're failures or we're not good enough or we're not worthy or whatever. And we just perpetuate the same limiting beliefs that keep us held back, that keep us from living life to the fullest. So no, I don't think we should make New Year's resolutions. Instead, what we ought to do are the 4 things that I'm going to talk about today. Because I believe if we get past this limiting belief, if we get past this idea of a New Year's resolution is somehow going to make things better, then we're just perpetuating the same cycle of brokenness. And that's not the goal. When we enter into a new year, it should be full of hope and full of dreams and full of goals and full of all of the things that drive us to be the best versions of ourselves, because that's what the planet needs. Our communities don't need more people living out the broken cycle of bad habits. What we need are people who get up every morning, like Eric Thomas says, no alarm clock needed. I apologize for all the background noise. It is a windy day today. But that's what we need. We need people who are so jazzed to do life that they get up without even an alarm clock. You know, I set my alarm every day for 4:50, and almost every day I wake up before my alarm clock goes off. Today I woke up at 4:40, man, I was ready to go. And, you know, I heard it from Steve Harvey one time. He said, you got to get up every morning and you got to say, today's a great day. And I've been doing that, and I love it because it's like, whoa, I embrace the reality that today's a great day. There's going to be some hard stuff in today, I have no doubt. But it's so rich and so full, and I believe that. So if New Year's resolutions are a bad idea, then what do we need to do? Well, I think we need to do 4 things. And I'm looking at my notes here because I want to make sure and do this right, because I love entering into a new year, and I want to help you enter into a new year in a way that's actually valuable and useful and will help you grow closer to the best version of you. So number 1, we have to explore your ideal self. You know, when I'm coaching people, I'll talk about this. Like I was working with a teacher recently, and I said, okay, one of the things you have to do is you have to figure out, what does Miss So-and-so look like 25 years from now? What kind of teacher is she? What does she do in her teaching day? How does she structure her day? What are the things that she does regularly that make her a better teacher? What does that ideal version look like? Now, are we ever going to reach our ideal self? I don't think so in this current plane of existence. Now, I, particularly coming from a Christian background, believe in the heaven that is to come and the new kingdom. And yes, I think our ideal versions are possible in that reality. But here on this existence now, I think what we do is we set up our ideal and we work every day to grow closer to that ideal. Will we ever reach it? I don't know. But just because you don't reach the top of the mountain doesn't mean you won't benefit from the climb. So yeah, we need to set an ideal version of ourselves. What does the ideal you look like? Are you somebody that gets up every day to take care of your body before you go to work? Are you the kind of person who gets up every day and makes food choices that are phenomenal, that make you feel good as a human being, that aren't based on processed crap? Are you the kind of person that reads books all the time? Are you the kind of person that says no to social media when you know you want to check out? Like, what kind of person do you want to be? If all things were possible and you had if you had unlimited resources and all of the available potential, what would ideal you look like? And it's really important when you look into this that you don't think about, well, I want my ideal me looks like this guy over there. Like, it'd be really easy for me, and I've fallen into this a few times. Like, I look at guys like Jason Momoa, who's one of my role models in a way. And it would be easy for me to be like, well, my ideal self is Jason Momoa. And the problem with that is you'll never get anywhere near that ideal self because you're not that person. So whoever you're holding up as your ideal, you need to get that away, because You'll never attain it. And all you're doing is setting up a false ideal that prevents you from going so that you have an excuse to not do the stuff that's hard so that you don't become who you want to be. So who is the ideal you? And the reason you need to know who your ideal you is because every day when you get up and you do the things that the ideal you would do, you are saying yes to being that person. That is a vote. Check. Yes, that's the kind of person I am. I get up every day and I drink 32 ounces of water like that because I believe that drinking a lot of water makes my body better. And when my body isn't hurting and aching and tired and dehydrated, I operate at a higher capacity. So every day that I get up and I drink the amount of water that I want to drink, I'm saying yes to being a person who functions at the highest level because I've done all the little things along the way. So who do you want to be? Who is the ideal you? And what are you saying yes to every day when you get up and make good choices? Because there is an ideal you. And that gets to number 2. Like, you've got to discover your limiting beliefs. What are the limiting beliefs that you operate from that are keeping you from becoming the ideal you? What are they? Is it that you don't believe you're worthy? Is it that you don't believe there is a best version of you that is worth bringing into the world? Is your limiting belief that you don't have anything good to offer the world? That one I think hits home for a lot of people. That's why we spend all our time on social media doing a whole lot of nothing, trying to post these pictures of the real us that isn't the real us, because ultimately we don't believe there's a valuable us, so we're just going to live in the shadow world of Instagram. The limiting beliefs need to be explored, and they need to be accepted for what they are, your current operating system. Because if you say, well, I don't have any limiting beliefs, you're already shorthanding yourself. You might as well tie both hands behind your back and just do life with no arms. You have to examine your limiting beliefs. You have to accept the reality that you have limiting beliefs. Because once you've accepted that you have them, you can change them. Beliefs can be changed. You can go from being a person who doesn't believe that they're worthy to being a person who believes that they have great, immeasurable value. You're not replaceable. No matter what your boss says, no matter what your parents say, no matter what your friends say, no matter what comments are posted on Facebook, you're not replaceable. You have a unique gift, thing, passion, purpose, fill in the blank, that the world needs. And yeah, maybe your thing looks like other people's thing, but even, as an artist, as somebody who paints all the time, I know there are other watercolor artists out there. There are other painters out there. We're all trying to bring beauty into the world. But my paintings will never look like Savas, who's a phenomenal artist. He and I are both trying to bring beauty into the world, but we're going to be doing it in a way that's unique to who we are. Your story, the things that you have endured, the things that you have experienced make you the unique version of who you are, and the world needs that. You're here on purpose. I believe that with every fiber of my being. So you've got to discover your limiting beliefs, because once you know some of your limiting beliefs, you can work towards overcoming them and go back to number 1, which is, who is your ideal self? And then number 3, you've got to review the past year. And I think it's really easy, especially in the last couple of years with COVID and all the vaccines and all that nonsense. It's really easy to be like, oh, praise God, the year's over, and just move on. But I think we miss an opportunity. Here's some basic questions you can ask when you're examining your last year. What went well? What did I do that was good? Like, think about that. If you took a minute to list out all the things you did in a year that were good, I think you'd be surprised to see how well you're living your life, despite your limiting beliefs. So what is it that you've done in the past year that you need to be proud of? I started this podcast in 2021. I'm freaking proud of that. I've continued a series of paintings that I hope to put out into a gallery in this coming year that I'm really proud of, and I did that in 2021. I've loved my kids well. I've loved my wife well. I've taken care of my body. I survived COVID, like hospital COVID, not just like cough and sneeze COVID, lost my taste buds, but the whole deal. Like, I survived. That's a big deal. So what are the good things in your life that happened in 2021? What are the mistakes you made? What are the things that you should have done that you didn't? I should have started this podcast way earlier in the year. But I hemmed and hawed and doubted and wasn't sure about it. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with it. So I waited. And that was a mistake. I should have started earlier. And there's a whole bunch of other mistakes that I made that shouldn't be aired on in public. But what are the things you didn't do well? What are the things that you wanted to do that you didn't, or you weren't able to, that you want to try for this coming year? Take some time, sit down, even if it's 5 minutes. 5 minutes is better than no minutes. 1 minute is better than no minutes. 20 minutes is better than 5 minutes, and on and on and on it goes. So what is it about your year that you need to be proud of? What are the mistakes you made that you need to forgive yourself for? What are the things that you didn't do but you want to next year? How are your relationships? How was your relationships with your spouse or your kids or your family in the past year? What are the areas you want to grow in for the next year? Take some time to look at this last year and really dig for the gold that's in there. And then lastly, you got to make a detailed plan, and you got to know your why. This is a big deal for me. I talk about this with people all the time. And it's from Simon Sinek's work. And I give him all the credit for getting me onto this path. But like, you got to know what your why is. Okay, you want to get in shape in 2022. That's a great goal. But why? Why do you want to do that? To what end is that valuable? Are you the kind of person that takes care of your body every day? Are you the kind of person that you want to be physically fit so that you can get out and do the stuff? What is it about your year that you want to grow and become? Like, why? Why do you want to do all these things? Now I'm distracted because the car pulled up. I don't know who these people are. Ma'am, those aren't like giveaways. Somebody just put them there to use them. No, ma'am, not trash. No worries. Well, that happened. So you got to make a detailed plan. You got to know why you want to do the things you want to do and make a plan off of that. Now, maybe what you want to do is going to take you some time. Maybe the big thing that you want to do to move towards your best self, to do 2022 the best, is going to take some time. Maybe it's not something that you can do until summer gets here. What are your plans? Like, don't wait for July to show up and then all of a sudden just think it's going to happen. What do you need to do in January to make that big project or that big goal in July possible? Okay, so maybe you want to be a person who reads 10 books in a year, which if you read 10 books in a year, I know there's the whole like 1 book a week thing. I don't think it's valuable. I think if you're going to read a book, it ought to be assimilated into your person. Like, you ought to be who you are. Like, it should become a part of who you are. I should say it that way. I think 10 books a year is a fantastic goal, especially if you're a mom or dad out there who's squeezed for time anyways. So, okay, you want to read 10 books a year. So the goal is 10 books by December 31st, 2022. What do you need to do in January to make that happen? Okay, I need to carve out time. Okay, great. Start by carving out time. I'm going to read for 10 minutes at the end of my day, or the middle of my day, or and I'm going to do that 5 days a week. Okay, that's January. Now, I've picked up my reading speed a little bit. I can read a little bit faster, so I'm going to read for 15 minutes. You see, and you just make a plan. I've done this over and over again. I have a plan right now for my physical fitness. I've marked it out by X number of days, and I give myself a check mark every 30 days that I go to the gym according to my plan. I do resistance training 3 days a week. I do yoga training 2 days a week, and then I do yoga training. I don't know if that's an appropriate term. I do yoga 2 days a week, and then I do something outside physical on the weekends. So I'm a very active, and I mark all that down, I write all that down, and I check it off, and I keep tally of it in my journal and all those things. So make a detailed plan. What are you going to do in 2022, and how are you going to do it? Be specific. I want to be healthy. Okay, what does that mean? How do you want to be healthy? Do you want to eat better? Do you want to be physically fit? Do you want to lift weights? Do you want to run? Do you want to do a marathon? Like, what are the things that you're going to do? And be specific. The more vague you are, the more likely you are to give up and just go back to the same old habits that you had way back in the day. What are you going to do? And how are you going to do it? And how specific can you be? And then there's a bonus thing that you need to do in 2022. You need to take some risks. What are the things you can risk this year? Maybe you're scared of heights, and that's a limiting factor for you. There's some things you could do in your life that would be super enjoyable if you weren't scared of heights. Maybe you need to go ride some roller coasters. Maybe you need to go bungee jump. Maybe you need to go skydive. What are the risks you can take in this coming year that will help you overcome your limiting beliefs? Maybe you need to have some hard conversations with family. Maybe you need to give up give up watching pro sports so that you can spend more time with the kids you have in your house. Maybe that's a risk you need to take. Maybe you need to get out there and start meeting people. Maybe it's been a while since you went on a date, or maybe it's been a while. Maybe you've been grieving for a while and you need to risk relationships again. Like, what are the things that you need to do that will help you move past those limiting factors in your life in this coming year? So that's it, man. That's how you step into a new year in a way that's going to actually be beneficial to you and to the people around you. Because a person who's living life to the fullest can help other people live life to the fullest. And then we have a community of people who are living life and sucking the marrow out of the bones of life and enjoying it to the fullest. Yes, it's hard. Yes, it's full of tragedy. Yes, it's full of suffering. But there's beauty and there's truth and there's goodness. And when we step out into a new year and do those things we talked about today, I absolutely believe we can step into the new year in a beautiful way. And I hope you guys have a happy, happy new year. I am excited for what we're going to do in this podcast in the coming year. You know, this is the last episode of season 1, and I'm stoked to see what season 2 looks like. What are we going to do? Who am I going to get to interview? Who can I learn from? What can we do with this podcast that's going to make it even better? I'm excited to live life to the fullest with you. Thank you for being a part of this community. No matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, I believe you have beauty and truth and goodness to bring into this world. And I hope that in 2022 you're able to take these key things and grow closer to becoming the best version of who you are in this world. So until next time, my friends, get out there and live life to the fullest. Cheers.